Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Silja and today I'll share some useful spiritual tips of how you can find time for your spiritual practice even in a busy day. I hear people coming to me very often saying, I don't have time to go to a spiritual course, I don't have time to meditate 3 times a day, I'm not like you, I don't have that kind of time. The day can become so busy that we forget our spirituality. But if you are longing for spirituality, you're longing for something else than the practical daily life, then this is for you, because we don't need to find time for spirituality. What we have to do is to be aware of our life in general. And this way, we're not separating the spiritual life from our mundane or daily life. We are using spirituality to actually help us cope and handle the challenges that we meet in everyday life. And there's so many easy ways to do that. And the theme is very often called the Zen of doing dishes. Before I got children, I could meditate whenever I wanted to meditate. So my rhythm was mine and I adapted to the surroundings, obviously, but it was still, I was eating what I wanted when I wanted, and the rhythm of life was mine. After I got children, it wasn't mine anymore. I don't know if any of you have experienced that, but it somehow changes completely because you can't sleep when you want to sleep, or maybe you don't get enough sleep at all. So the rhythm is changed and you're suddenly not you. But it goes for all of us. We adapt to situations, whether it's work, whether it's other kind of challenges, we have to adjust our pattern. And that's why it's so important, at least for me, to have spiritual reminders throughout the day that reminds me of my interconnectedness with the divine, my interconnectedness with everything else, because it empowers me on this journey. Let's start with the Zen of doing dishes. When my first child was born, I actually lived in a caravan out on the countryside in Spain. We're living outdoors, we were sleeping inside the caravan, and everything else we were doing outdoors. Before my children were born, that was something I just did, and then I went out to do my meditation. Now, after my children were born, doing those dishes became my meditation, because I couldn't withdraw from them. I couldn't do my meditation whenever I wanted. So I was doing the dishes when they were sleeping their siesta. And while I was doing my dishes, I was cleaning my sauce. I was cleaning out everything I had to let go of. I was draining it out with the water. So consciously, I was using the dishes to be present. And I was blessing the plates, imagining that everything people would eat from these plates would taste good, would do them good, that it would be healthy with a good, vibrant energy. And meanwhile I was doing it, it was like a prayer and meditation in one. It was cleaning my mind, giving me peace, calming me down, letting go if I had a quarrel or something I was worried about, letting go of that, and doing that through the dishes. So that's called the Zen of doing dishes, and it means being present in what you do and use what you do for a spiritual purpose or an alignment purpose, rather than searching for time to do a meditation or do an alignment or do some spiritual work. So you get the point here. And during a normal daily life, we have so many moments that we can create a little spiritual alignment out of. Let's say you wake up in the morning, first thing you do is looking at your phone. Maybe you could take 1 more minute in bed before you reach for your phone, giving thanks for waking up into this day. Let's make this a good day. Let's bring something good into this day for myself, for the people around me, bringing in this attitude of love and light and awareness. The reason why it empowers you is that you immediately remind yourself that you are participating in your day. Your day is not only something that happens to you, you are a co-creator. Now, let's say you do a meditation. Maybe a 5-minute meditation or a 12-minute meditation before you actually start your day. I find that a very, very powerful way to start a day, to remind myself to be in alignment, to listen to my heart, to listen to my inner voice. I think the first thing we take in should be a good thing. If you drink water consciously, it can be a little 5-second meditation of cleansing. being present, being grateful for having pure water, and just drink that water thinking that, okay, so this is my morning cleansing. That can become a meditation. In a few seconds, you can make that drinking of water into something symbolic, powerful, energetic. Next thing you do is maybe making yourself a cup of coffee, or it's a cup of tea, or it's a smoothie, or it's whatever you want or need in the morning. Do that again with presence. If you have the choice to choose what you're drinking, be grateful. Try to find a little moment of gratefulness, because gratefulness is so healthy for our hearts and it's so healthy for our mood during the day. So when you drink something that you've chosen and that you like, enjoy it. Enjoy that, because when you enjoy, when we feel joy, we enjoy what we're doing, immediately this feeling of gratefulness and abundance and goodness and well-being comes to us. So enjoy it. If you have a shower every morning, create a cleansing ritual. Go into the shower, feel that it cleanses you, not only physically. It's not only taking away the sweat, it's taking away all the energy you don't need anymore, everything you're ready to let go of. Say in your inner mind, I let go of everything I don't need now. Start your day with a clean sheet, with a clean energy, and feel empowered by that. Let yourself be empowered by you creating a morning ritual that suits you. If you are so blessed that you can choose what you eat, then I think it's really empowering to give thanks, because not everyone can do that. And it feels so good to know that you are so lucky that you can go into a shop and buy what you actually want or need. Even if it's not a luxury breakfast or lunch, even if it's something very modest, it's still nutrition, it's good. Even if you don't have a God, give thanks to the universe, because the thing of gratefulness, being grateful for what you get, for what you have, for what you are eating, for what you're drinking, is empowering your energy. If you are waking up in your house and doing your morning rituals and so forth alone, then maybe going to work is where you start meeting people. If you live together with other people, your children, a husband, a wife, or your parents, other people, then you start this interconnectedness very early. And I think that before we do that, it's really good to take a moment to remind yourself of what you want to bring into that community. What is it you want to share? You don't have to be overly positive. You don't have to feel joyful if you don't, but you can still have a little connection to your inner self, a little connection to your awareness and the love inside of bringing the best possible into this day for yourself and for others. My friend Singing Bear always said, in a good way. Do it in a good way. Whatever you do, whatever you think, in a good way. A good way doesn't mean exhilarated joy when you don't feel joyful, or being super positive when you feel conflicted inside. But it means you don't have to throw your bad energies at someone else if you have pain. Not everybody else has to suffer with you. Okay, so here comes a little story. My grandmother in Finland, she used to close the door when we were going out of the apartment. She would be closing the door, and then she would put her hand on the door and just stay very still, close her eyes and stand very still. And I was always thinking that now she's thinking, did I remember the keys, my money, my umbrella? I thought she was reminding herself if there was something she had forgotten, but it was telling me that no, that's not what she did. She was giving a prayer for this day. She's going out of her home and protection, and she's asking for protection from the divine. She's praying that this would be a good day and that what she would meet was in a good way. And just having such small reminders. For her, it was closing her door to the apartment. That's when she took that moment. I notice that if I don't feel well, it's very often because I'm tired, I've done too much and my body is aching a bit and I don't feel I have more power and the energy, then I start being bitchy. I know I am, and I don't like it about myself. It's a kind of reflex that protects me, don't come near, don't do. And that's why it's important for me to tell people that right now I'm really on my edge because I don't have more powers and I'm trying to finish this, whatever I'm doing. Please bear with me. Please excuse me. I'm bringing this awareness in for myself, trying not to bring my pain or problems over to someone else. Because when we're not aware, we kind of just bring our bad mood with us to work or into our family or whatever, and we just spread it around for anyone to catch up on it. Because if I'm feeling bad, you should feel bad too. It's not conscious. We don't mean any harm by it, but we often do that. Again, a little spiritual awareness. Or what do I want to bring to the world? I don't need to be super positive when I'm not, but I could be decent. I could try to remind myself to be decent. There are other ways to symbolize that you want to be in contact with your soul, with your purpose, with your mission, using your spiritual connection during the day. You can light a candle, maybe at work, maybe at home. You can light candles for yourself. It's always good to start with yourself, and then you can bring your prayers out into the world if you want to. If you want to send good energies or vibes to someone else, it's a good moment to do that, just lighting a candle. If you anyway light candles when you come back in the evening, then give a little prayer, give a little something, remind yourself of your connection to the divine. And there are so many situations during the day that you can use. If you go to the gym, if you do a workout, then remind yourself of how lucky you are that your body is working so well. And even if there are parts of your body that doesn't work, like with my body, I can still be grateful for all that it is capable of doing. And it's capable of doing so much. So it is about reminding myself of that, and then I align myself again to my spiritual purpose, to my spiritual self, to my inner voice. Every such moment you're using, it's healing. When you make dinner, bring some good energy into it. If not, maybe you should rest before you make dinner. When you go to bed in the evening, if you haven't remembered any spiritual alignment during the entire day, you go to bed, you're exhausted, you've worked maybe much too much, maybe you have sorted problems for your parents or your children or your neighbor or whatnot, or maybe you're very alone and you are missing a social network. Then again, when you go to bed at night, look for if there was anything during that day that was good, anything that felt a moment of joy, a moment of pleasure, a moment of contentedness, a moment without pain if you have a lot of pain. So use every single moment of your day which is possible to align yourself with your spiritual self, bring in the spiritual awareness, bring in light and love in any situation you can. And it's not about being overly positive or neglecting the negative thoughts. Absolutely not. If you have them, share them with someone. Don't stay by yourself, because it's so much easier to carry problems and overcome challenges when we are not alone. So search for a community online or with your family or friends, wherever it's needed. But remind yourself you're a spiritual being. You are an energetic, vibrant being connected to everything else and everyone else in this interconnected, wonderful game we're playing here on planet Earth right now. So use your spiritual powers in the everyday life. Use it to reinforce yourself, to empower yourself, and to be able to spread more love. If you like this video, click like. I really appreciate it. Subscribe to my channel for more. Let's keep sharing love.